Okay.
Yay, the bathrooms. I don't have to use the bathroom anymore.
It's always good. All right. Entering into the society where you stumbled across this dragon alcove, you met Red, or rather the Red King. And for better or worse, he is perceptible, presentable to you. Any other adjectives you would or synonyms you would like to use? He's relatively a nice enough guy that he wouldn't kill you on the spot. Drawing back on wondering why this isn't your house, you remembered you went on a mission to acquire the Red King's armband. You have yet to do that. Caitlin got her butt kicked, so did Lady Vrersky, and so did Byroth. He gave you time to rest, and you decided to take a short rest. So, Caitlin, you can roll dice to heal yourself.
My power just flickered.
Okay.
That is.
I get to take a. How do you take short rest?
You just roll your hit dice, however many you want to use.
Hit dice.
Oh, fuck. If I pass the death save.
Yeah, we stabilized.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
But anyway.
Fuck, what comes after 6?
7.
Fuck. 7.
Okay. Neat.
I'm sorry.
Just surprising.
I don't have mine. So I don't know why I brought my computer with me to a trip club.
Anyways, you basically, after the short rest, are deciding on how to communicate or tell your... Oh, these guys are not supposed to be here. Tell your side and see how you can get the band without really fighting. It's possible to win, but from what you can tell, if you don't focus in, you will likely take out your team.
Oh, excuse me.
Drake moves forward as the team discusses things, and then states, "Alright then, we've had enough time to rest, and most of us have not died. Is there any way we can proceed without too much disturbance?" While this was going on, while the short rest happened, Red spoke with Versky about the incident, about her leg. A few things happened, basically a quick surgery here and there, and, well, I'd call it surgery, but basically she died and was brought back. And she is no longer, in the lack of better words, cursed.
Huzzah.
Drake then states...
But honestly, moving forward, I think can't force him to do what we want. He can kill all of us with a punch. I have to talk to him, find out what he wants.
I got punched too.
Yes, Kate, and we were there, thank you. I would heal you, but holy magic is bad for you.
Oh shit, I'm a vampire. Fuck.
Drake then states, "So, any ideas on what we could offer him, or should we try to communicate with him?"
Why not reason before just, attempting to use someone else's money? You can say something about it?
Oh, I couldn't hear, my connection must be bad, sorry.
Ah.
I couldn't hear our choice.
Basically,
Essentially,
go ahead.
reason with him or pay him.
I vote for reasoning with him.
Oh shit, there's a dog in here.
Chrome basically states he seems to be looking for something specific, and then Chrome Derriclox states, from personal deduction, I think he's looking for some excitement. Drake would then state, he does seem to be adamant on finding someone worthy of a fight, but I highly doubt that's the only reason. The dragons seem to be corresponding with him for some reason or another. They did make mention that, regardless of what happens, it would not affect them. Perhaps they have struck in some sort of a deal.
Also, he rode in on dragons, so that they must respect him in some great way. Why don't we ask him?
Seems reasonable enough.
Hey, Red King, why do the dragons respect you so much? I mean, besides the punching.
Dragons are usually depicted as a symbol of strength. Maybe there was a common ground, is what Chrome states. And then Red states, something like this, yes. But the common ground wasn't exactly just strength alone. It was a system that we needed to establish before we continued. Let's see here. How should I phrase this? Have you ever heard of a... No, I'm sure you have. I'm sure some of you have gone to safe towns, safe havens. One of them, I'm sure you've been or came from.
Haven, yes.
Yes. Much like that, I had established with my group havens out there that would be protected under this coming wave of onslaught.
So, you know what's coming.
While I am not the sharpest tool in the shed, I am not an idiot. I know what will happen if people don't follow the rules, or if people fight back against the man I am currently working for.
So the world hasn't burnt enough already? Now you're just going to let him burn it down again?
I wouldn't exactly call it a burnt down. In fact, unfortunately, this is one of the only ways I foresee things actually not burning down. The case individual, the one that leads our entire group, is someone that's looking to see control. But not just control, but power. Power strong enough to establish a true connection with one another, rather than a simple facade of one. He would take control and lead everyone, making sure there's peace and actual stability within this place. And based on the way you look around, it quite very well needs it. Something like a dictatorship, yes. It is not something I am fully content with, but it is something that could work. And right now, he is the only one with enough strength to keep his word and make sure that these sanctioned sites are protected.
And once he has enough strength to do with whatever he pleases, then what? Your sanctioned sites are still your own sovereign territory because you had a deal with the man who does what he pleases whenever he pleases?
As you state that, Chrome then states, an immortal man is supposed to be able to hold all that to oneself seems like a clear path to self-destruction. Red then states, more or less. He isn't exactly what I would consider a mortal man. He is able to connect, commune, and establish connections with things far beyond that I can comprehend. Even yellow and black seem to settle in their places around him. And yes, while it is up to the contract we have made, it is one that I'm willing to fight for. It is one that is and needs to be protected. The creatures around us, the dragons that are now close to extinction, the other things they consider vile or destructive, the drakes, the slugs, the others. I need them protected, I need them safe. Somehow his group was able to connect and bind creatures inside weaponry to keep them housed and safe for the coming events. With this, I am able to protect and keep them safe, and once all this blows over, or either he loses, I still get all of this. Do you think dragon tastes like chicken? I highly doubt it. Then Chrome states, then why would a human city with citizens that don't even have the ability to cast magic, yet alone hold a sword, cause a threat? You have been to the city of Haven. I am assuming that's what you mean. Haven in itself is a threat of itself. While true they cannot cast magic, they themselves are able to bind magic within weaponry, bind it into other things. In fact, through former contract, they used this site to mine this place down, and with the help of the Drow, forge beings of metal and steel known as the Warforge, and the synthetic life forms that they have and are currently creating. They aren't exactly not a threat. And unfortunately, neither are the rest of the safe haven cities. Many of them have their own way of doing things. Many of them are quite destructive. And they would rather see the world burn
And when Haven,
than be told that they are wrong.
yet each of these city-states, as has been demonstrated, can be brought low by a fairly low amount of people. You don't have to kill everyone and put the world in shackles to say the world, otherwise the world will burn.
All things in life are a threat in one way or another. It's just about deciding which one is deadly. Chrome adds on. Red then states, it is only a bloodbath if they decide to fight against it. Many of, as you stated before, many people can be a threat or cannot be. If they see an impending doom lying ahead of them, many people would opt out of fighting. Many of them would be smart enough not to fight. I, for one, would
What
fight.
is the-
Scare them?
It is a threat in and of itself. If they choose to fight, fighting
And what
will
of the
occur.
people of Haven? They were not given choice not to fight. Their city was put on lockdown and nearly exploded by the Elusive Man's people. There's no choice.
Do you know which ones exactly? He does seem interested when you mention this.
I do know, because I wrote it down. The owl guy with the backup, with the upside down hands. Come on, I wrote these names down.
I know, I think
Crumb then states, I saw with my own eyes
fucking-
citizens that didn't wish to fight back be attacked.
But yeah, we know all their friggin' names. Help me out here, Dogma.
You can just say you know
was
them
done.
and then just say it. Fine.
I know
I wasn't
his name is,
I wasn't actually.
Gerald. His name's Gerald. He had the backwards kitty face.
Yeah, okay, you named the names. I wasn't actually looking for names. I was just saying. I just wanted
But
you
now
guys
he
to
has
say I
them.
state them. Okay. He has Gerald, the kitty
Okay.
hand face guy, and the rest. Red then states.
And the rest.
Specifically, it was Rox, Farah, and Archer, and Gavin, but Gavin was Rox in disguise.
Mm.
But anyways, he then states that would be the Black King's group. He's a lieutenant, rather.
Who work directly for. But they work under, as you work under, the Elusive Man's orders.
We work under the objective, but we all have our own way of doing things. Unfortunately, the Elusive Man has decided to allow us free leave of things, even hiring mercenaries that were not exactly well-to-do.
And you don't see how that's a problem?
It is not my business what the other kings do. Crumb then states,
Does it not?
there were also the children at School of Magic, and the child that was taken hostage and had a bomb planted onto them. Yes, that would definitely be the Black King's men.
Okay, so we've established that the Elusive Man is willing to kill a whole city without them warning. That's the thing we saw, and also pretty sure they're going to try it again because of what they were trying to unleash underneath the city. So, when Haven is dead and the God's Avatar of War walks the land again in its legions of soul-fired automata, where does the Red Legion stand? Lay down your swords, lend the strength of your arms to tilling soil and planting crops? Become farmers in this new authoritarian world? What
I
use
don't
of
know.
mercenaries in a world of automatic killers?
As you state that, the woman actually next to the Red King comes over. They were all there. They just went observing things, and then she does state, sorry to interrupt. I couldn't help it over here. Byroth, right? I think that's what you said your name was.
That's what they call me.
Well, to tell you the truth, we wouldn't have a point. When, by the way? We wouldn't need a reason to be a mercenary. The only reason that we are is because there's no stability, no choice in the matter.
And when there is stability and the only place for freedom is amidst these haven lands of yours, which exist specifically to protect everything that the rest of the world considers dangerous and wants to wipe out, you're just going to be park rangers?
Why wouldn't we? These things out in the world don't want to kill. It's simply their nature. Think of a bear. They get hungry. They eat an antelope or whatever the bears eat. I don't really do bears, personally. But
Sometimes bears eat berries and shit because the berries taste good.
she nods in agreement.
This one is wise.
Let's see. Chrome then states, and what if we were to offer said stability that you were looking for? Red then states, cutting Wen off, what do you mean by that? Do you have some means to an end, or are you simply suggesting something? giving you time to type. Wen then continues. It is simply a matter of what needs to be done. I don't know why I'm giving her the same attitude. It's simply something that needs to be done. Whether we protect them or not, we still need to survive. They still need to survive. And yes, I can see the contradiction what you're about to state about survival. The simple notion is hunters go out there to kill. And people go out there to kill other people. With the establishment connecting the two, there would be no need other than criminals killing.
Yeah, it's still gonna happen inside your little safe place. It's not gonna stop this from happening.
Not stop it, no. What we are trying to figure out or establish is a widespread connection. Rather than fighting one another, we would actually be as one. Think of it... no, that'd be a poor choice of words. Have you ever seen the politicians in your cities talking and debating, but never really doing anything? Never really connecting?
No, I lived in an efficient village that was not like that.
Yeah, Relta, you basically don't know what she's talking about. But then you think about Haven, and that place was super messed up. They really didn't listen to the matriarchal hierarchy. Rather, they established a council and then consulted the queen.
That whole last session we were there.
Yeah.
Just think of that.
Yeah.
Kaylin's a noble.
All eyes turned towards Caitlyn. Then you think about Caitlin's city.
It works fine. We got the shit done we needed to get done. I'll drop my glasses.
Oh.
Can't see.
But making everybody, your ideas they're so flawed. How do you not see how flawed they are?
There are flaws, but frankly speaking...
So why support it if it's not gonna help?
The crux of your argument seems to rest on one thing. So tell me, why do you trust the Superman?
Chrome then adds on, but not to this. Well, to put it lightly, I want to ask a simple question. Could you go back to a normal life after this entire plan has taken place? The ideal scenario, Red then states, is that there would be no need for fighting. We would send out, or rather, the elusive man would send out his soldiers. And either the cities decide to fight, or they think rationally. Sometimes people don't think rationally.
That don't make no sense, man. Cause
that's not rational thinking. Let me just lay down and just give you everything. That's not rational.
Down too.
Oh.
I'm stuck in a chair. Why not just fucking... What about the Revenger duders doing shit because they took the stuff from them? Because the fucking... What's the word? The people revenge things fucking revolt. Yeah, that word. Wouldn't they just revolt and always have the resistance? That's the word. Not revolt.
Rebellion?
Yeah.
For a good second there, I thought you were trying to call the Avengers.
Yeah, me too.
People would always be doing stuff like that.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Because both are wrong, but...
Okay, again, your argument is in order to prevent the cities from going to war and killing each other, you are going to send a massive army at them and say,
We are slaves?
we're at war, either submit or die.
More like knock it off, but I see your point. Chrome then states, well, oh wait, I think I already said this. Oh wait, no, second one. You're going to send a war at them. No, we're going to send messengers. Whether they choose to fight would then be the war.
Messengers and armies always starts the wars, says the historians.
Okay, let me put it this way. Red King.
He then states towards Byroth, unless you want to continue. Up to you.
No. Why does he trust the elusive man?
Yeah, that's what he's about to say. Byros, you mentioned before why I trust him. He in himself is beyond what I can comprehend. Basically, he's the one other person, other than a certain individual, that can actually best me in a fight. Not only with his constructive thought patterns and the rest, this is simply a plan that goes beyond and over my head. So
Okay,
while
so
I
you
can't,
find him. No, go. Sorry.
so I can't give you exact reasoning to an exact thought, I can give you what I, as myself, connect with. Go ahead.
So I'm hearing that he's confusing and strong. I mean, it doesn't add up to trustworthy in my. When do you trust this elusive man? Why do you trust this man?
Honestly, I've never met the man. But I do trust Red. He wants the best for most people, everyone he can possibly grasp onto. In fact, going on to what Kaelin has stated, people that want to rebel are welcome to come into the safe havens. Into these safe, what did he call them, Red? I believe he called them, habitats? These habitats.
Reserves.
Yes, reserves. Is that what they called them?
Native Americans.
Nah, it's true.
Okay, wait,
it's
so-
reserves. She then states, so if people don't want to live under the tyranny of said man, they can simply go here, but they would have to fend for themselves. But
You
as
realize if you let refugees into your reserves, as it were, they're just going to do what people always do and kill all the animals that want to eat them.
which is why we're here, as you made mention, the park rangers.
Yeah, okay, so like there's a difference between where people live and where these things live. You know this. That's why people kill them, so they can live there.
Or to eat or to hunt. Red wants to make sure that you don't overhunt, overeat, and just simply kill for sport. Red then goes and states, I'd rather not have too much death if all possible. And I don't know the exact extent of his plan, or at least it went over my head.
Invite this army upon the world.
But the message will be clear once they're sent. And you made mention, Chrome, why or how he beats me in a fight. I am unable to actually strike a blow against him. He is able to punch and hit me without an issue. And while he is not as strong as I am, he is simply able to dodge and evade my attacks while he deals his own. He's also able to use the environment around him to his advantage. He's a man of great insight, but he's also a terrifying man. Lady Versky then states, and what happens to the outside world beyond the confines of the walls of living? The message wasn't clear the first time. Red Haven blames this on the non-humans. He would then state to Lady Versky, what lies beyond these walls would be up to them. As I stated beforehand, each city, each haven has a choice. Whether they choose to end their lives or choose to fight or choose not to submit will be their own. But there's always a consequence to each choice.
Red, you're just trading one city for another. These people have their own cities, they're not bothering anyone. You say, we're going to come in with war, you can come to my area and follow my rules. Do you understand how people don't like that? What if we come in here and said, listen, we're going to take that armband or we're going to kill you? Would you have gone so lightly on us?
And you've never been out to the city, never interact with the world, never bothered the world in your own missions, never killed without necessity, or never killed just for fun.
I've never pretended that I was holy or righteous for it.
That's hypocrisy, my guy.
And neither
You're
am
doing the
I.
same thing.
As I've stated before, people have that choice. But in order to save what I need to save, in order to protect the creatures that need to be protected, I had to make a choice. The message was, Lady Rescue then states, I care not for what happens to the choices others make, what happens to the outside world and the life of the wilderness and beasts. The wilderness and beasts. I don't know why they said that twice. Chrome then states, I mean, I wouldn't say that, but... I don't know the context of that. Oh, okay. Red then states... Okay, Red then states... Fine, we can disagree on this all we like. Honestly, I don't really see your group looking out for the best of these creatures. And you find more human life preferable than wiping out an entire world. So then, I'm assuming you're proposing an ultimatum, or a choice in this matter. Right now, I need to keep these places safe. Do you have any way of doing that with your own gifts?
What exactly are the places you need kept safe?
He presents a map of the Forbidden Zone, and there are an extensive amount of points, but he mainly puts 5 out there. The rest of the points I can control well enough, but these 5, and this one included, he points to the Hell's Mountain Pass that you're currently in, are ones that need to be protected.
Okay, so the natural fauna of these places cannot defend themselves, the dragons included.
Chrome then states, what are the threats that need to be saved from? As mentioned before, people go out of their way to wipe places out in order to acquire things that they really don't need. For example, in this place, they crafted and formed shards from this area, so much so that the land became to be an active volcano instead of a dormant one. He doesn't ignore the question, he just was gonna get around to it. What happens to the outside world and the life of the wilderness space?
I assume they go under the Elusive Man's Iron Fist.
They would continue. The Elusive Man isn't exactly looking to control everything. Rather, he's actually trying to get everyone into a direction. That being said, he doesn't exactly employ the best people. I'll tell you what. Regardless of what you can do, regardless of anything else you can specify, I want at least this place safe. The beast weapons that I have can all be claimed here, and whenever we have a new site that can be preserved, we can unleash them and keep them safe there once established. So what I would like is for this area to be safe, and specifically the next 2 kings to be taken down. If you manage to strike down and take out the Elusive Man, far be it from me, after all, this is your choice. But I would like at least this place to be safe. And in that doing, I can at least provide you with your clue.
We have several agents we could dedicate to that area, including perhaps Rust and Drake here. Additionally, we have favorable contacts with Flying Whale City, which might be able to patrol large areas and keep out poachers. It's possible. Just an idea.
That idea may or may not work, mainly because you don't have a way to connect with them.
True enough, because nobody has sending who has met what's-her-face.
Yeah. I mean, if you were able to go back to Haven, you might be able to connect with them, but not no more. Drake and Rust, well, Rust then states, I don't have a problem being here and protecting the site. We could probably at least spend 10% of our supplies, and we could keep this place safe for the next coming days, a few months. Depends on how well you do in the next area site. Drake then states, seems well enough.
So how about that, Red King? We protect your site, and in return, that armband of yours.
Roll persuasion and advantage, because Chrome and Lady Versky were... I don't know if they were helping, but they were definitely adding to it. I would say they were helping.
Dear, persuasion. Get ready for this not to work.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if it was considered advantage or just a genuine conversation. I don't really know how to deal with genuine conversation over persuasion.
Thought I had another good line.
He rolled a 2.
Yeah. That's fair to say. He rolled a 2. Even with his modifier, he doesn't beat a 13.
I'll take the daffodils.
I mean, if you want to know his exact number, I'm not gonna lie. It is a 3.
He's not the best at insight to be running a criminal organization.
It's not a criminal organization.
He's a mercenary. He needs good insight and perception. All good mercenaries.
Yeah, his daughter
Shackle
deals
yourself.
with that situation.
It's weak sauce, my guy.
Yeah.
Weak tomato.
Either way, he then states, seems fair enough. He removes his band and... yeah, I'll give it a Chrome.
No. I wanted it.
She's like sitting on the floor, making piles of volcanic sand. I wanted it.
It mixes the whole red color.
Yeah, Caitlin, you lose it or try to eat it or something. It's red. It must be blood.
Chrome then states, Red, I'm very curious, just from my own curiosity. How do you view the Black King? What did I get? Oh, the armband. Ren then states to your question, honestly, really messed up guy. Would go out there, kill with no apparent reason or rhyme. He would go out and take what he thinks belongs to him. To be perfectly honest, I would not miss him.
And yet, you work for a man who gives him full free rein. And perhaps in that holds you and him in the same regard. Food for thought.
I mean, obviously, we all work under the same organization. We're both kings. He also doesn't like me. That isn't exactly food for thought, rather than an obvious statement. But I do see your point.
No. The elusive man endorses the Black King as much as he endorses your vision. He endorses the Black Kings. What do you think the Black King is going to get out of this?
We each have something we get out of this. the reason why he endorses the Black King is because he is capable of things. White and Blue decided not to venture into this situation.
Oh, I got a question.
So does Chrome.
Shit. I can talk faster than she can type.
Then say it.
So, why are you called the Red King? You're wearing a bunch of black.
It's
That's not fair.
nomenclature, or basically I leave the battlefield red.
That's edgy.
I didn't choose it. People chose it for me.
What about the Green King? You like plants?
If you want to call me that. But my name
Don't-
actually is Red.
The vampire's drunk, don't worry.
I'm coming down.
Chrome then states, I was just confused since you seem like a fellow that cares for human life. I would have figured it would be a normal clashing in personality. Also, Chrome jabs his cane into Bryarosnes. Like to topple him over, or just like a playful jab?
Like to say, shut up, stop trying to compare these two kings together, probably.
Probably.
In the kneecap.
Yeah, that
Yep.
makes sense. Red then states, that's quite alright. I honestly don't care for the man. Which is unfortunately, when we actually need to communicate, my band synchronizes with his. Don't really know how it does it. I'm sure a scientist on your team is able to engineer a connection. But without my actual binding with the thing, the next thing you could probably best guess, I imagine you could do, it would be a scrying spell of some sort. That being said, Red does give you an idea, so you would have to go back to your work of operations, and the next mission would likely be the Black King, unless you want to do something else. But Drake and Russ then state, if you don't mind, Russ states, one of us can go back with you and the other would stay here in order to survey the area and get acquainted with the, looks over to the giant dragon just bathing in the pool of lava, with the beings that exist here.
Local residents would probably be better phrase for it.
What was that?
is fixed, that's all.
Said the local residents would probably be a better word for it. This is their home.
That's fair enough. I just didn't know if all of them were dragons, so I... Fair.
The roost.
Red then states, not all of them are dragons, so... But residents would be more of an appropriate term. Right. Drake, do you mind handling that part? I don't have a problem with it. Any reason why? He points to his... Basically, he points to his face. Got it.
I think we've come to a likely agreement. We've both said our pieces of the situation and we're both just seeming to give evidence to each side. It's been a nice change for once. I'm usually aggressive side when it comes to, well, let's just say the politics in Haven are a bit more aggressive.
Drake would also state, yeah, same. Oh, since everyone's handing you things, he then hands you what appears to be a sending stone. If you need to contact me, you can use this. Just in case you don't believe that they're telling the truth and I get killed, if I make no connection, then I'm obviously dead.
What do you usually do to seal a contract?
are you telling a lie?
No, just a handshake or whatever will do it.
Simple enough. If you're not telling the truth, I'd just kill you when you try to invade. I guess the best word would be...
Sound policy. I was just referring to Drake. Seems to be nervous about getting killed out of nowhere.
Drake then states, it's part of my job. I'm supposed to be suspicious of everything and everyone.
So I was
Yes.
asking what the usual contract is.
In
Turns
the
out
fellow,
handshake deal.
the fellow mercenaries, their word is usually their oath.
Wen then nods in agreement. We do swear an oath to each other, but if you want, I can draw out a contract. Some people prefer those.
I'm good.
Red? I see no reason why we need that. Alright. You don't kill this place, we don't kill you. Easy enough. You have the armband. Red made mention you can scry on it, but you would likely need someone better at scrying, or some other way of doing things. Without Red, it's ultimately just a beacon of some sort.
I think the one who told us to go get it has an idea of what to do with it.
Alright. With that, Red then states, alright then. Drake, welcome aboard. Anything I should know about you? I'm an assassin, but I don't plan on killing you. Good to know! To the rest of you then. If you do manage to deal with the situation, feel free to come back. If you don't, well then, good luck to you.
Yeah, if we survive encounters with the other three kings and the man who's trying to create an army of soulless automata, we'll come back and visit you and the dragons.
Never jabbed a Byrov's knee.
Ow, I was being serious.
Yeah.
Like, it's warm.
Red then states, a bit of caution about the other kings, though. They aren't exactly the best people. If nothing is done about them, they will likely tip their hats. Or tip... No, that's not the proper term. You can see he's trying to be metaphorical, but he's not doing a very good job. Neither am I, by the way. He then states... They will likely play their hand. Yes, poker seems to be an adequate term. To the point where they'll go beyond the game that they are playing. If you're not careful, they will easily kill anything and everyone around you. You made mention that they went out and killed people that weren't fighting back. Took hostage of children. This is not all they do. This is not all they are. They are worse. Honestly, whenever we connect, I tend to avoid these two.
I mean, if we're going to be specific, Elusive took the hostage, but that's just being specific. I get the general gist. Although I'm not completely sure on my knowledge of the Yellow King, I must admit it is one I've tended to look over a bit.
All we hear about the Black King is vileness, and all we hear about the Yellow King is nothing.
That is likely for obvious reasons. You can get more detailed information from the Blue, but the information I have... but before I get to that, is CRYM a misspelling of Chrome, or...
No.
Okay.
Here.
Red then states, you can get more information from the Blue, but the information I do have from Yellow is that they deal with ritualistic magic of an old sort. It can deal with blood, and it can deal with a strange connection with the world around them. It is very nearly impossible to stop their magic, but I know that some people are able to. But even then, they deal with other things. Those other things, I'm not quite sure what they are, but they are able to use weapons and bind them with the magical aura to enhance their properties and abilities. They are very intellectual, but they are not as great as they would give you. To be
More of a show, if anything.
More of a show, yes. But they know a great deal about magic in itself. It's very hard to pin them down. The Black King, what I know of them, is that they are a high-class necromancer. They deal with the dead, they are able to control them as if on a whim. And the more people that die around them, the more soldiers they will have on their side. They mainly sent out an avatar out there to deal with their problems and contract with living people in order to blend in more subtly with other groups or the city. After all, people generally don't reciprocate a hello from a skeleton.
Good lord, Red, can you not see why this person wants to team up with the elusive man? One city says no, they get wiped out. All of a sudden, he has a whole army.
We've already been through this.
No,
No, not
the Byros knees.
this whole thing is. Ow.
As we've made mention in the conversation, there are plenty of holes, yes, and as I mentioned before, they will likely tip their hands. Now he's just combining two things, but he makes his point clear. So do be careful around them. One deals with death and is death incarnate and can revive the dead on his whim and control them on his whim. The other deals with magic.
Alright, Caitlin, we're gonna have to get you a fancy necklace or something before we do this. She's not here. Continue.
Yeah. My binding deals with black, but to get to yellow, you would need blacks.
So, prepare to fight the undead, huh?
Prepare to go to the
Okay.
Shadowfell, as that's where they're currently at. Well, at least that's the last report I got from my daughter.
I'm assuming this is some sort of grim dark realm.
It primarily deals with the undead, the souls that have yet to pass to their destination, or are currently lost.
Yep.
With that being
Sorry,
said,
I just recognized the music. And we're talking about the Shadowfell. And it's not so bad. But yes.
right. At any rate, if you need anything else, we'll be here. If not, I suggest you make way to your next destination.
Just for future reference. Shard of Sin on your back there.
No. In fact, this
Shard
thing
of Virtue?
has killed a great amount of people and has, according to my mage person, when then states your wizard, my wizard, it's bound with high evil magic. Luckily enough, it won't affect me, so I'm currently holding on to it.
Okay. Sounds like you're the person to have it then.
From what I hear, the last person that wielded it fought some sort of god, according to mythology, around the thing. Don't really know.
Specific rumor around it that many people have attempted to try and use it, but don't meet a fortunate end.
From what I hear, yes, they either go mad or the weapon consumes them. They begin to hear voices, hear strange whispering in the echoes. doesn't affect me or my mind, so it's just there. You
Should probably get back to home base.
all right then? Good luck.
As much as I love lava-filled caverns. Duh, I agree.
I believe you guys got enough rations to make it back, so that's not really an issue. Let me roll. 17. No, that's dumb. On your way there, you managed to find a traveling caravan. It's not really anything suspicious. You just see them in the distance.
Traveling what?
Caravan.
Caravan.
It seems to be 3 buggies.
In like nearby this horrendous lava crossing, or just
no,
like
no,
in the
it's like
wasteland?
2 days from this place, a day before you actually make it to your base. It's roughly 50 miles in the distance, in the horizon. You're already in the desert, which is why you can see it. But there's really nothing odd about it. You just see it.
Nah. Our journey back, I'll be keeping in contact with N, just to keep checkups.
All right.
Whenever we head off a night in Tiny Hut.
All right, sounds good. Beyond this, nothing really seems to be out of the order. You communicate and they establish a connection. They weren't really able to get into a contract, air quotes contract, with the person in question. So they would need more details, or else they would not continue the job or start the job.
I'd give him a brief down of what we've recently found out from Red.
All right. They would then state, from what I can tell, they seem to be telling the truth. No one really knows too much about Yellow, other than the fact that they are a little out there, a little crazy. But beyond this, they have no real inclination of what they can do. As the person stated beforehand, they deal with Black deals with death, as we obviously know, and they do, in fact, can control the dead or undead. Beyond that, though,
Damn it! I wanted to.
we would need more information from Blue in order to actually get true details.
I'm also going to tell him everything we learnt about the crystals inside of the cavern and the specific history behind it, and simply ask him a suggestion of, do you think it would be possible that these specific crystals are connected to those chokers they were talking about?
I would have to look into that, but from what I can tell, these crystals were used to make Warforged on a simple surface basis, but I'd have to get back to you on the other.
Yes, that would be helpful, because we might be finding an inconsistency if it was.
Right. On the last day before you arrive into Haven, they do, well, you call them.
Not
they don't
Haven,
call you.
our
Right, base, sorry. So used to you guys going back to Haven. Home base, you call them, and then they state, from what I can tell, there are no known accounts on these crystals being used for anything else other than Warforged technology. In Haven, they are currently being used for more synthetic life than robotic. They're basically creating more of a humanoid construction rather than a robotic figure.
with emotions and feelings, or just more realistic?
This is between Chrome and their contact.
Never mind.
But then they would state with emotions and feelings. But
That seems...
It would be in the R&D department. This has yet to go out beyond simple test subjects in Haven.
Okay, then don't bring it up in conversation. Got it. I'll call you back when this is all sorted out and we
Right.
go on to our next job.
Right. From what I can tell, one synthetic life form, if you're able to find them, was found in Section 9.
Oh? A name?
No distinctive name, but they do have the moniker Liv. L-I-V. I'm assuming that's their model number.
What, 54?
A bit suspicious of me if all people brought this up, but we'll keep that in mind.
Alright. If you need anything else, let me know.
That's it. And he hangs up.
Alright. Do you all go inside, or do you all, like, group up outside before entering inside?
I mean, I don't think we have anything to hide from the group, so I don't know why we would.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
wondering.
not really.
So you enter inside, everyone groups up. The people that were already here are here. Drake's no longer with your group. He didn't die. He's just with the red currently. You call him just to make
It's just
sure
being useful.
he didn't die, and currently he is actually plowing and tilling the soil. They had him actually be a farmhand after the nomenclature, probably just to mess with him, but he does respond. Little not happy, but he is dealing. But everything's fine.
After Byra kind of made fun of them for wanting to be farmers.
Yeah,
Not
basically.
even made fun of them. I just thought they would mercenaries would respond very different.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Some of you sit down. I'm assuming Lady Versky still stands, even though there's plenty of seats. But then Ramon states, welcome back. Did you manage to get any report? Did you manage to write down any reports you have?
Oh, I've done that on my way back.
Yeah, that's fine. And as you stated beforehand, you really have no reason to omit anything, which is why I was asking. So you just give him the report. He quickly reads it. All right. We can expend about 30% of our resources. We're going to be down to roughly 50, but we should be able to safely safeguard that area. So that isn't really much of an issue, but we are running now low on supplies. So I can't exactly do too much in any event. It seems that Drake is currently with the team, and they seem to be doing well. In the report, it basically states, screw you, Byros, for telling them that they're farmers. But that was it. Ramon then states, but you did manage to get the next piece of the puzzle. Do you want me to call Will and have him do so now, or do you need a rest? You have been traveling for about 3 days, but I'm assuming you slept during that time.
We're all up to snuff, but Ramon, tell us, what do you know of the Shadowfell? The Red King seems certain we would have to travel to this place.
The Shadowfell isn't exactly a place you want to go on vacation. It's a place of dark, decrepit nature. Basically, you stay there too long, you'll start to see the world in a more of a gray scale. Your mind will become corrupted, your soul will become corrupted. Stay there too long and you'll wind up being one of the dead. whether you died or not. They deal with contracts in a more abrupt way. Even without signing a piece of paper, if you form some sort of trust deal of a manner, even with a simple procurement of an item there, you could have easily just be bound to the Shadowfell in that way. So be careful of the wording there. That being said, many of the creatures there are quite mindless, as they did die, and either didn't manage to go the way they wanted and are now trapped there losing their minds, or they had no mind to begin with. So even if they're
Okay, so that's a
humanoid-
good. Sorry, good. Sorry.
No, that was it. Even if they're humanoid.
Okay, no, so that's a good. If we're going to go in, how do we get out? Sounds like the most important thing. Getting
Out of character, real quick. Can I do a roll to see if Crow knows about the Raven Queen at all?
Sure can. That would be religion.
Okay. Give me a second for that then.
Please let our Raven buddy know something about the Raven. Tallow, the Raven cleric, knows nothing about the Raven.
Oh, that +1. Please, Chrome.
Just for posterity,
Yep.
I'm gonna roll Talos. You ready?
Mhm.
Got a 9.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh man, that's so good. Yeah, Chrome, you do know about the Raven Queen. You know that that is her main domain. She deals with death. She generally doesn't like when people come back from the dead. What the Black King is doing there, probably intruding on her whole business.
Yeah, I'm also side-eyeing Caitlyn a little bit. Just,
How we all must be like. This is all like. Ooh, we're gonna go up a necromancer who can control undead.
And the Red King basically stated, hey, don't hold back. So yeah,
Yeah,
there's
we're
that.
gonna be murder hobos in the Shadow Realm.
This is Yu-Gi-Oh. No, you didn't get
So-
joke. Okay. Ramon then states, the way back would likely be a way of teleportation circle. Are any of you capable of using the spell, or perhaps planar shift?
Could I perhaps set up a very basic smithy in the backyard, consecrate it to my god,
Oh.
and then
That
create the
would
word of recall?
not work in a different plane, I'm afraid.
ability do I have other than plane shift? No, I took that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you have the
Chrome
exact
speaks up
thing you
and
needed.
says he... Yeah, Chrome speaks up and he says, I have said thing you're talking about, but unfortunately it's once per... It takes a lot.
Mm.
You need to rest in between uses.
Staying there would be considered a various threat for multiple reasons. There are also plenty of hags there that are able to enter into your mind and mess with it. So, if you need to rest, make sure you are safe. And try not to stay there for too long. I can't exactly give you exact information on the Shadowfell, but I can tell you that try not to sleep there, if at all possible. Tallow then does state, I do have planar shift, so if you want, I can come.
Maybe.
Do need a new party member.
So it is required for you, Tallow, to come. I know it is, but it's required for you to come through with us. You cannot simply transport us there.
I could transport you there, but then it'd be up to Chrome to bring you back, if that's fine.
Chrome.
See no problem with this plan. It would save us arrest and possible troubles. He's like, we could just take him, and then he like stops and looks at Tallow a little bit, just like,
I mean, he can just be our heel bot. I have no problem with that, but
Paula, then
story-wise, Byroth would be like, okay, little buddy, you gonna be alright?
Paula does state, he can send you there. He doesn't actually have to go with you. I didn't mention this before because I didn't think it was necessary. I am able to mess with people's spells while they're casting it. So he can cast this planar shift spell, and I can mess with it so he doesn't go with you. He doesn't need to go if you don't want him to go.
So just don't want him to get killed.
Seems fair enough. That's why me and Drake usually make sure he doesn't die.
I mean, you have your cleric in cloth armor. It's ridiculous.
Tyler then states, yeah. So if you want, I can send you there. I don't have to go. But the way back would be up to you.
Chrome kind of gives a cough into his hand slightly, and he's just like, I don't particularly want to be the one to say this, but this is a domain with the Rave. I'm not sure how familiar you lot are with her, but well, one thing, it would be interesting to know why the Black King of all peoples went there. Specifically if that is her domain. But also, if we're bringing someone that is undead, it would probably make her happy.
It would, should we finally cure Caitlyn of her vampirism? A question for But how do you think this Raven Queen would react to our Corvid friend here? Since you rolled a 20.
Tallow?
Tallow is a cleric of the sun.
A life cleric, isn't he?
Yes. So she would really have no real issues with him unless he starts to mess with the environment. You don't really see him doing that. So really would not have an issue. But again, you don't need to bring Tallow. In fact, Paula can mess with his spells, so he doesn't have to go with you. But he would be the only one.
Just leave the puppy dog.
Only other person to be able to cast a planar shift spell.
I guess it would be good to have a backup in case something bad happened to Chrome. Although he's a cleric, if I just rested, I could probably have a planar, whatever. So there you go.
Yeah. So, just to make this quick. Yes, no, do you want to bring Tallow? You don't have to.
No, I don't think we'd be bringing Tallow.
Oh, just to be clear, Russ will not join you on this mission.
Yep. No NPCs, let's leave the puppy dogs at home.
Okay. Ramon then states, alright then. He then goes to the door. Will was quite literally waiting at the other side. And then just comes in. Oh, you made it back. That's great. Do you mind the armband?
Chrome.
Oh, right. He pulls the armband out of his pocket.
Alright, do you mind if I hold it? Or do you want to hold one end, I hold the other?
Hold one end and you hold the other.
Alright, fair enough. He then looks at it, twists it in a way that it almost seems like it's about to break, stops, and you can see that the armband then changes color from a red into a black. Alright then. The next armband you need to collect is the Black Kings. According to this, you can find them in the Shadowfell. They are currently operating under the disguise of one... that can't be right. One undead vampire known as... Markov... something Barovia. Oh, sorry. My bad. That was actually my bad. Sorry. One Strad von Zorovich? I don't know. At any rate, that's currently their disguise in the Shadowfell. Beyond that, that's all the information the band's giving me.
Okay, so you know, last time we saw you was with like a fallen angel, right?
Yeah.
Will? So you have some control over these creatures. Is there anything you can do to Caitlyn to perhaps prevent her from being taken over by Necromancer?
I mean, I would probably have to use 10% of your resources, but I could probably forge something to allow her not to be taken over. Or at least have the ability to not be taken over. An actual chance to roll.
So either that will happen, or when Caitlyn gets back, I'll discuss greater restoing her to remove the vampiric curse, or something like that. But
Yeah, you can decide.
I'm not going to go
later
into the
on.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you do it or you
just,
don't.
I don't want to go. Yeah. I just don't want to go in there with no options as to like, oh, we're going to get fucked in the back by Caitlyn.
Mhm.
So it's either that or some other thing that we can discuss when Dropkick gets back.
Yeah, they probably won't be back today, though, sounding the way they did.
Chrome was about to ask, would we be able to at least have one night stay here? I have kind of missed a proper bed.
That is fair enough, Ramon then states. Take your rest, take your time. If you need to talk with people, you are about to go through the Shadowfell, so a simple night is easily done. We'll meet in the lab tomorrow. Eat, drink. I need to prep things for you all to get ready.
Caitlyn somehow makes us another amazing.
I was about to say Chrome goes to the kitchen if no one else does.
Alright. You have a nice meal. It's quiet. It's pleasant. Drake isn't here, so it's a little awkward, but you just met him last week, so it's not that awkward.
It's not awkward for us, but the other two are like, "Where's Drake?"
You can
We're
see
like in
Talos
a lava
little
field with
sad.
dragons. In a lava field with dragons, trying to farm turnips.
So it's pleasant, so if you want to do an action before you head out, you can. I'll go around the table. Relta, do you want to do anything?
No, just resupply my stuff, like a typical get ready for another mission thing. Nothing
Talk to the
fancy.
Dryad again, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dryads. Actually, let me roll. The Dryads still
That
pretty
was
much
just a
asleep.
suggestion.
Yeah, the Dryad's still pretty much asleep. Relta, you replenish your supplies. You have enough for about a week for you and little kitty. So no need to worry about that. Everything seems to be well enough. Fire off.
Okay, because we are bringing an undead into the Shadowfell, which just seems ridiculous to me. I want to see if Barath gives off not quite a prayer, but more, ascending to the jester, and see what he thinks of the idea of bringing our undead friend into the Shadowfell and somehow using that to spite the King of Necromancers, which would be the Black King.
Roll religion.
And if yeah, another thing I'm terrible at. Shoot ups on my spells, roll in religion. Actually, I'm not bad at it. Oh, natural 20!
As you commune with the greater being that you know and as a jester you met so long ago, you just hear in your head, and you see the visage of him once more. Yeah, that's a stupid idea.
Wouldn't it be funny though if that turned out to be what made it good?
Maybe. But they'll likely die. Pop.
Can you kill what's already dead?
They repop. I mean, they'll lose all cognitive connection to their body. Basically, the consciousness will die. The body's fine. The body can still be used. I mean, if you're into that.
Amusing.
So make sure you're prepared.
No. Fair enough. Still, would be a good laugh if it was the vampire that killed the Lord of Necromancers.
You feel like he's not in agreement. Any other small
in
thing?
their own realm of power where they felt safest. Anyway, good night.
Chrome. Oh, you're typing.
Sorry. I was about to say after dinner, Chrome will wash up the dishes and all that, and he'll head outside and cast Tiny Hut and then contact N again.
Alright. You contact them, they give a little gesture or whip, basically stating, "Oh, so soon? You missed the sound of my voice?"
Well, it might be the last time you hear of me.
Okay, not gonna make jokes anymore.
We're going into the Shadowfell.
Alright. I'm assuming that's not a
With
joke.
an undead.
That's a stupid idea.
Yes, I agree. And I'm also contemplating how I'm going to be reacted there.
That's fair. I'm sure you'll be meeting a few old faces, which won't be pleasant.
Oh, I'd rather not fight with a god. Although I might contact an old friend. See what I can do, but wish me luck if anything.
Honestly, that's all I can do. Without an actual connection to that area, I have no real intel I can give you other than the stuff you already know. I can tell you that an undead can be protected, but it would require a very powerful spell. And even then, I'm afraid I highly doubt the people you're with, according to the records, have that ability.
Do you know of a vampire with the last name of... I can't remember how you said the last name, but he will say the name that he was going under.
Stradvan Zervich.
Yeah. According to our reports, he's an ancient vampire that died some time ago. Report states that he was from a place called Barovia, the city of Lynn, outskirts of it. Sorry, the continent of Lynn, in the outskirts. Held dominion over the place cities, was able to control lycanthropes from a distance, was able to change his form and appearance at a whim, went by various monikers in the past. If you meet a stranger in the streets, it could be him. These are all rumors, but there are reports that they did exist at one point.
I'm pretty sure if he said that he was going under the sort of name of that specific vampire, right?
You're under that impression, at least.
He'll basically say, well, it seems like the Black King is using that name to good use there. Information, that doesn't seem like that would be a better solution in the Shadowfell.
Likely. There's no detailed accounts of his current whereabouts or the body interned. So if they died or not, it's up in the air. There are reports, however, that states that they are able to control other bodies without personally being there. So watch out for that if that were to happen.
So we've got two individuals that have similar abilities.
All we need is the armband.
I'm afraid I can't really give you any more other information. If I knew more about the Black King, I might be able to give something definitive, but I would need to form some sort of pact with the Blue.
At the moment, I can't offer you much information with the Blue King. It was a little bit of a nightmare with the Red King.
Tell
But
this guy about the kids. The Blue King loves kids.
already knows that.
Yeah.
Rats.
If anything else pops up and if we do survive, have mercy on me. Oh, tell you what I know.
Alright, stay safe. As safe as you can, anyways.
The same goes to you. And he
Alright.
hangs up and he basically goes back inside.
Lady Versky, anything you're doing?
She's been stood outside the tiny hut.
Okay.
Just sliding down it like a slide.
Anything else? Gonna take the
That's
silence
me.
as a no. Alright, Caitlin's not here, so she does what she do. 24 hours pass, and I'm assuming you go to the laboratory.
Yeah, go to the laboratory.
Tempted to ask about anti-charm amulets, but we're just gonna have to roll those vampire charms.
Or whatever kind of charm. Will is either there or not there, depending on what you guys choose to do. But in context, he will be there for now.
Yeah, I mean, we still don't really know exactly. Like, you turned the bracelet black, but we don't know what to do with it.
So he'll tell you what you need to do, basically. You all get around the strange orb, as Talo did make that the focal point of your transportation. And Paula does need to be there to disrupt his spell. Ramon then states, alright, I have just about everything ready. Talo, with his help, was able to bind and connect with the Shadowfell, Will then states, beyond what I've already told you, the band ultimately is a receiver. Get close enough to the body that it's trying to hone in on, and you should be able to distinctively tell who the Black King is, regardless of their current, he points towards his face, appearance.
I seriously thought you were going to say face.
Yeah, I probably should have
Points
just
to his
said face.
face. He points to his face. Face.
Beyond that, the band will just lead you to the destination that you're seeking, which is the Black King. You would need to make a insight check to determine which way the band's trying to take you, but beyond that, it'll just be plain luck if you manage to spot them on the first go.
And just so everyone is clear again, everyone in this realm is either undead, enslaved, or half crazy.
Or
So
was
watch out.
born there and...
Half crazy, right?
Fair enough. Tyler then states, I can't give you an exact location, but you will be there. I think I can get you close to a city, but I don't know where in. If you're all ready. Ramon then comes over. They're not. Relta seems to have gotten the right idea, but the rest had not. Ramon just comes around, gives everyone 7 days worth of rations. I highly doubt you want to go to the Shadowfell, the land of the dead, and eat their food.
Smart. But also, we were kind of very strongly recommended to not even sleep there. So, no, but this is good planning.
Good. How should I phrase this? Basically, Will gave me instructions or information on this while I was studying a few things. Good produce is hard to come by there, for obvious reasons. So you could perhaps barter with this. Or not.
So this isn't like hardtack rations. This is good stuff.
Yeah, it's not exactly super perishable, but it eventually will perish. But you got time. It's not.
We've got like apples and potatoes, not like fresh lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Things you can eat, but you don't have to eat them right away. You can make up whatever you want, what it is. Ramon then states, alright?
Technically, potatoes and milk contain almost all the nutrients you need to survive.
Yes.
Hence potato stew.
Tyler then states, alright, if everyone's ready, can you form a circle? And I'm just gonna move you into a circle, because that's what the spell requires. Or at least it's good enough circle.
We're not taking any NPCs with us.
No.
Nah.
Everyone was
Pure
against
party.
it. I mean, the only one that
Against
was...
Tallow, but
The only one that really could have helped was either Tallow or Drake. Drake's currently at the mountain.
Oh, and Talow's such a baby. He's just gonna get fireball. I'll feel bad.
But he can get you there. So as he begins to chant, he then state, you then see Paula chant in a reverse manner at a certain point, and then Tallow does state, alright, I'm gonna send you to the city. Careful, I don't know what's gonna happen, but please be safe.
Wait, did we establish any line of communication? Ah!
No, you actually didn't.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, it's not like it would have helped, but, you know, there's that. Nope, too many. Sorry, I'm trying to copy and paste. Give me a second.
Alright, you copy and paste. I'm gonna run to the washroom. Be right back.
What happened to the resolution? There we go. I need spookier. Let's see, this one's called anxiety.
Uh-oh.
I don't hear anything.
Kind of do.
Oh, there we go.
It's like a high-pitched sound.
Just realised chrome and all fucking bright white and shit's gonna stick out like a sore thumb.
And paste. Now to scale. Oops. Control Z. As you enter into the Shadowfell with no real destination ahead of you, you do enter into a city of grays and shadows. While you yourselves are the most colorful things around, that is simply all that you see. Around you, there is no other color. No blues, no grays, no in-betweens, a nice maroon. You are the brightest things that are here. And quite frankly speaking, as Chrome has suggested, maybe integrating more out of game, that is drawing attention towards you. You landed in the middle of the city, a city filled with dead and the unknown. Looking around, you do see people are staring at you, but not in the manner that you would expect. Not in hate vile ready to attack you, but in an almost zombie-like stature. As if they notice you, they don't do anything against you, at least not yet. Is there anything you're doing to draw your attention away?
So they're noticing us.
Teleporting to.
What was that?
Where did we teleport into?
You teleport into the middle of a city, as Telo has suggested. He can get you in, but he didn't exactly know where you'd be going. It's a city...
And we're noticeable just because we've teleported in, or because we're vital and alive?
Mainly, you have color about you. Looking around, you see people, at least humanoids, with gray skin, hair as pitch black as shadows. All around you, it's simple grays, but all of you, most of you, I wouldn't say Chrome in the current state, and Caitlin, well, Caitlin a little, she has lipstick, stick out highly. Lady Versky with her blue clothing cloth and blonde hair, Caitlin with her red lips and red eyes, Rauta being super bright and cheerful. Emotionally, you also stand out. And
No, I have dark clothes though. I thought I have dark clothes from when we went to
Well, technically she should be wearing frost dragon scale armor.
oh yeah, that's true.
and I have a hood, and I'm gonna put my hood up over my head.
I
Keep
mean,
my head down.
yeah, that's fine. You wouldn't be as colorful, but you would still be in white.
What?
Frost dragon.
Frost dragon.
Ah, I'm
And
wearing
Byroth,
white.
Byroth will armor up fully.
Byroth and his accented armor. You do see that, yeah, I would imagine Rauta, you would be in white because of the armor.
Oh,
but you do see the people still staring at you. One individual does come up to you. Strange woman in a simple hat and garb. She looks towards you, towards your team. And surprisingly enough, she is different. Not a human, not a drow, not of anything. Looking at their features, you don't see any distinctive marker that would suggest their race.
Heritage, please.
Or heritage. Even though in D&D it's called race. Anyways, she then states, "Who are you?"
Are we... I just didn't catch the last bit.
Who are you?
Are we? Oh, who are we? Just who has our police badges that we can communicate telepathically?
Rauta, Caitlin.
I have
Bats.
I don't know.
Well then I'll... Unless anybody else says anything. Travelers. Who are you? I'm trying to match your tone.
Okay. I'll just give you something to look at. She then states, "Why are the living in the dead's land?"
Barth is just gonna be honest with her unless somebody else interjects.
I'm shocked I'm wearing white. Go ahead.
You just now realize.
We're here to
I just woke up. What the
Ed.
what?
we're here to find someone.
The dead have no names after a while. You would need to speak with a Tolman to find who belongs.
We know the name of the one we hunt. Where is this Dolman?
She gestured towards a building, high in the distance, but easily enough to get to.
And this, in the spirit of the Shadowfell, I shall just walk off. Byroth walks off.
Alright. You walk off.
In the direction of where she...
Okay. Do any of you follow by example, or do you try to get any more information?
It's the building she pointed towards. What does it look like?
It's a massive building with various arch structures. You can tell that there's a strange blue light around it, which is odd in of itself, because you didn't notice it beforehand. It was a light that...
Does it look like a religious
shines.
building?
It does resemble that of a religious building, but at the same time, it seems so out of place here, as you all are. Mentioning before, when you looked around, you saw no other color around you. And now, when she mentioned the name the Tolman, you saw a blue light in the distance in that building.
So we're clear, Tollman? Tollman?
Tolman is what you heard.
Indeed. So is anybody else questioning this very helpful hag?
I'd be nice to her. She's really sweet. Do I see like anything around that I can like? Wait, I have a cape on at least, right?
Yes.
Does the,
A cloak.
build,
Oh,
does the building in question have any resemblance to any Raven Queen symbols I've seen before?
While you don't really see any symbols around it, you do see a strange image embedded into the building itself. A large crow just cawing in the distance. Not a raven, but a crow, which is strange. You know, you rolled a natural 20 in your religion, so I already tell you. Crows are often considered bad omens, but here it might be considered something else. Perhaps a sign of good luck, or perhaps a destination that needs to be partaken.
The crow will follow after Byroth.
Alright.
Come on, everyone. Remember, no sleeping here. Let's go.
Gotta be quick.
At the very least, you try not to sleep. Looking around,
Well,
you do
try to
see
get it done.
more lights in the distance. And by the way this image looks, it kind of looks like you're in an RPG. Neither here nor there. As you begin to move and wander about, you do see that there's no one around you anymore. You're not sure when it happened. I'm not sure if any of you have a passive perception of 25. I'm gonna take the silence as a no.
I love the ridiculous levels you have to push things because of how OP we are.
I think. I don't know what Rex's passive perception is, but mine's 18.
Almost double yours.
So,
Is that 25?
Yeah, it's over 25 by a mile.
Oh, sorry, Z, I just noticed your messages. No, they wouldn't be back
Fine.
yet. Oh, wait, yes, they would, but not in the way you would think.
Okay.
I'll explain later. It might actually come up depending on what you do. But moving around, you don't really see when or where the people that were around you at one point are now located. Seemingly enough, you do see that the area around begins to be illuminated with more and more light, giving you more grays, more shadows, more color. Looking around you, you do look up in the sky, and it is still gray, but around it you do see what appear to be triangle flags of, while dull, it's still color in itself, blues, reds, whites. Relta remembers that she's wearing a white cloth, which is surprising to her for some reason. You then hear another voice around you. It's not a person, but a voice, as if the wind is calling to you or telling you something. Why are you here?
Wait, my internet messed up. Is this towards me?
Towards the group. Each
Oh,
of you
okay.
hear this. It's not as if it's whispering in one distinctive ear.
Okay, sorry. I heard like every other word. I heard my name and then this, and I was like, wait, what?
Could be my connection.
No, it's mine. Sorry.
The dogma was cutting out a touch, but I got most of it. So we
Yeah.
all hear the wind.
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone else hear this place whispering to them already?
Yes.
This is why we shouldn't sleep here. I think we ignore the wind.
Okay.
Unless... Wait. Religion check.
The wind says okay, all disappointed.
Okay. Or can we... How do we check this? Insight
Insight
or...
or religion, really.
Definitely insight then.
It seems magical.
Oh.
Rip Mike.
Okay. Both of you can tell that the insight check that you've placed upon this voice, there's really nothing really to go by. You can tell that it is genuinely curious, but it is also something that is vaguely creepy. You were
Okay,
told
voice.
about the weird voices. You can tell that it is speaking common. In fact, looking back at the woman
Okay,
that you talked
voice.
with before,
It's very rude to ask questions before introducing yourself.
oh, so spoke common. The person then states, you assume it's a person. Oh, that's right. That's what you do. You then see the voice or the thing from the voice, then states, oh, it's been a while. What do I say next?
What is your name? What do they call you? What are we to call you?
You can see the wind blowing up in a certain destination, right in front of you without too much issue. It begins to form and make something. It's a human, you think. It's definitely humanoid, and it does resemble human-like structure. But the blue hair is often strange, and then again, you then notice it has blue hair. Something that shouldn't be in the Shadowfell. Sorry. Different game. Something that shouldn't be in the Shadowfell. And as you stare at them, you can see that
The very fact that he is colored
yes.
is odd. It's like Pleasantville. It's vivid.
But as you stare at their hat that they wear, female in nature, at least from what you can tell, the head itself begins to blink. Now, Sean.
That is a blinky hat.
He then states.
So yes, what is it we are to call you?
I think it's been a while. My name's. She looks down, and you can tell that she's written on her hands a couple times, not just once. Pamela?
Will you walk with us, Pamela, as we talk?
I think. Do you know why you're here?
We do. Will you stop us?
I don't know.
We hunt a specific person. Well, hunt is old language. We seek something from them. But we are advised very strongly not to negotiate, because this person that we seek a thing from is very likely to simply kill us rather than talk.
The only people I know that talk, at least normally, she seems to be wrapping something in her head. Maybe a thought, and then states, I think the Tolman, Strahd, and some of the Greys.
Do you like to talk, Pamela?
No. It causes me to forget. But I saw you...
Is it the talking or the phone? Because you talked to us.
Talking. But then I saw you. You were different. Maybe you know why I'm here?
Can we make some sort of check to that effect?
Arcana?
Insight, I suppose.
Ooh, another insight. Lovely.
Rasa, you seem she's lost.
Just like, I can help you find your way home, maybe.
Oh, am I not speaking loud enough? My bad. I'm gonna stop doing that whole hushy hush voice. I don't know. The main reason I'm not doing anything to Kaden right now is because their player character isn't here. From what you can tell by Raj, you really have no idea why she's here. In fact, when she stated it helps her, it makes her forget. If you had to guess, the more she interacts with this world, the more it causes her to be affected by it. The main reason why she was drawn to you is because you had life, you had vitality. And you can see that some of hers is slowly going away. The more she speaks, you see some of her hair goes into a grey tone. While it is an instant, you can at least discern some of this. I think some of you had a passive of 17. While she still has color, her mind is one of the first things that is clearly going. You don't believe that this person is the person you're seeking, but you do see that this is someone that either might become you, or you really can't help.
Stop this. Stop manifesting. Watch us, but do not speak. Only once we are done can we help you. There will come a time when we leave this place, and if you are watching, you might be able to join us.
You see that her form goes back into the wind. You don't know if she decides to trust you or not, as you don't see her anymore, but your words at least made a response. Whether it's one you like or not, it's hard to say.
So, I suppose, Chrome, this is a choice you will have to make when we leave this place, whether or not to allow her to come with us. Sorry. Yeah, I agree, which is why we should move forward, and she will be watching. It's simply something for you to think about. Saving a soul from this dark place.
Moving forward, you do see the strange building that was brought up ahead. While there's nothing really about you, you do begin to draw near it. It is a building of old archway in construction. It does have some religious iconography, but no real symbols. Either it's trying not to be as distinctive as possible, or perhaps there's no real faith in this place. But, you rolled pretty high in religion. Chrome, you believe that it is the former rather than the latter. Trying not to be distinctive might be a way of not being drawn out, or losing oneself. You manage to arrive at the building, and it is quite tall, roughly 100 feet in height, with a circumference that nearly is about the same size as half the city. You walk towards the steps of the place, and there's a large iron gate about you. Iron structure, roughly a foot of a bar. No, a foot in diameter of each bar stands in front of you. And there is a small bell at the door path. Whether you choose to ring it or not, it is up to you.
Do we really think they haven't noticed us? Faster is better, comrades. Am I wrong?
So.
Chrome's
Yeah.
typing.
Oh.
Right, so if we're moving forward, we talk to the tall man, we ring the bell.
Okay. Okay.
Alright. This one.
We just walk right into the lion's mouth.
Probably.
You ring the bell without too much issue, without too much care, or perhaps with enough to know that you're not in a place that you belong. As you ring the bell to ring the chime, the doors open with a large crack. Maybe the bars just broke, but this place isn't exactly well-to-do. It opens into a strange structure, which you have seen before. The closer you get towards the actual door rather than the gate, you do see that the iconography around it, these strange embedded images, the crow in the distance, on the very top of the structure. Almost seems as if it's looking straight at you, or straight through you. As you manage to get towards the door opens without too much issue. But the door itself is not black, is not white, or is not colored in between, but rather is a simple dull brown. The closer you got to this building, the more colors you saw around it, whether they were distinctive or not. There's a strange man that opens the gate to you. While he himself doesn't seem to be that different from what appears to be a gnome, his height is roughly 5 feet. So it's a rather tall gnome. Their hair is a simple white, but their beard is a nice grayish brown. Looking at you with his wrinkled face and a gnashed eye, he then looks and states, "Alright then, about 6 souls tally? No, that's not right. You're alive. So what brings you here?"
We seek no passage, Tolman, but information.
Hmm.
Sorry, is it? I assume this guy was the Tolman.
Yusuf. He then states, yes, and Tolman. To make it clear, he then does state, "Oh, information. Alright, come in. Don't want all that to come inside with you."
Follow him inside.
You see inside that there seems to be a small small structure of a church inside. The sanctuary of the church, really. You see podiums around it. You see what appears to be the religious symbol of the Raven Queen embedded on the wall at the far end of this current room. There are 3 other doors adjacent to the area, but they are currently closed, so you can't really peer inside. The doors themselves are made of a dark umber wood, and the pews themselves seem to have a nice foresty feel about them, as well as smell, as if you can smell the actual forest it came from, the pine needles and the like. He then goes,
Fresh hewn wood.
Yes. He then goes towards the Raven Queen symbol, where there's a pedestal roughly 5 feet from the symbol. He then opens up a book that's upon the podium. Then states, "Alright then, I have a few names. Is it recent?"
Strahd von Zerbi.
I don't have anyone in that name. Perhaps you've been misled. But if they were dead,
He is
they
he
would
is
be
not dead.
written.
He is, at the very least, undead.
They're
perhaps.
dead.
Something more necromantic.
Yes, of course. Let me take a look. He then takes out what appears to be a small hand mirror in size, but Similar enough to the scrying mirror that Viral has. I think Viral also has one. And then states, yes, an undead is in. Oh, multiple undeads that don't belong here. Alright then. I believe their structure is roughly in the middle of the city. In the tallest building there. Should be where they are. That's not their name, but I can't really see their name with this thing. I just know that they
That's
don't
what we
belong.
suspected. This is you are in charge of parts of this domain. Am I correct, Tolman?
Parts, yes. The Raven Queen has graced me some jobs to do.
And how does the Raven Queen feel about these undead who don't belong in her realm?
Doesn't rather care for them. Oftentimes, they do have to send out scouts to deal with things that don't belong here. So I suggest you take care of your business as soon as possible.
We have her sanction then to take care of this undead who does not belong and then leave.
I can't give you her sanction, but I can tell you have a bit of time before she draws her ire towards you.
Unless anybody else has something to say, I'm going to say my goodbyes.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Let's everybody roll and say.
Barrow, you believe he's talking about the entire group? Chrome, you assume it's speaking about you. You're not really sure. His gnarled eye kind of is hard to tell where it's looking. If it's looking anywhere. Avrelta, you believe it's part of the group. But
Barroth is probably more concerned with whether or not he was telling the truth in general, rather
yeah.
than specific.
Both Relta and Byroth can tell that he was telling the truth for the most part. He can't give you, oh sure, you'll be protected here as long as you take care of the problem. More like currently the Raven Queen's dealing with something else, so you'll have so much, not so much time, but time enough that you could perhaps take care of the situation before she draws in on something else.
Yeah, we're not a priority at the moment.
And anyone that
As puny mortals.
above a 22 can tell that their good eye is slightly looking at Chrome. Just barely. But then they do state, beyond that though, I have no other undead here. At least none in the city I can currently see. At least none that shouldn't be here. This Strahd fellow is not here at the least, I can tell you that much.
Someone using his name is at the stronghold at the center of the city.
Perhaps. The name itself does hold sway here, as it does belong to some of the races that hold great sway here. So do be careful about the lycanthropes and the
One last question.
Puritans.
Tolman. If you wanted to get rid of, well, what do you think would be the best way to get rid of these undead, unsanctioned, unwanted, but unregistered undead, or the hell they were?
Basically, he called them the don't belong here. He never really gave him a name. He then states, if it were me, I would eradicate them, but that just bring them back. I would suggest some type of radiant magic or silver-tipped weapons. This undead fellow in this building seems to be quite powerful. So if you don't have anything silver, don't have any radiant abilities, we're looking at a very, very skewed fight.
Thank you, Tolman. And then Byroth will lay 2 gold coins on a nearby surface and say, just in case, a dumping.
Alright then. I'm sure I can use this for something. Do you all head out?
Yep.
Alright. As you head out back into this...
Versky will wait. She will say to Chrome that she will catch him up.
As mostly everyone heads out into the city, Lady Versky holds up for a second.
She will ask, once the room is clear, out of curiosity, what would happen to an undead should they enter this land.
Something that is dead and should have been here will have a hard time
getting out. Something that is dead and should have stayed dead. Once arriving into the land of the dead, it's really hard to break that binding a second time.
She will nod her head and just a sly, that's a shame. Thank you for the information. And she will go and join the others. Very merrily, happily.
You hear them stay underneath their voice unless they have taken the proper precautions. I'm sure.
She will almost sing back, I don't believe anyone made that arrangement for them.
Nope. As we end the session for today.